Hey, this is Orange County Executive Steve Neuhaus. How cool is this? I am at LEGOLAND here with one of my favorite people, Stephanie Johnson. Stephanie, I love you. It's
Hi,
great
Steve.
to see you.
Good to see you.
This is so awesome. Seriously. So we're here in LEGOLAND in Goshen in Orange County, and Stephanie is literally the one that runs the show here, and she's going to walk us through where we are here at LEGOLAND and where we're going, some of the new things that they're featuring. So, and by the way, she's a mom and lives here in Campbell Hall with her husband and kids, and her and I are constantly talking about children and the great stuff that's going on here. So thanks for having me here, first of all. This is great.
Yeah, welcome to LEGOLAND New York. As you said, we are really a resort destination and attraction that's meant for families with kids, typically aged 2 to 12. But what I would say is we are meant to be the ultimate Lego-themed experience in the Northeast. And we have a little bit of everything for big Lego enthusiasts all around. It's an incredible place, beautiful location, and one of the newest parks in the LEGOLAND Park portfolio.
You know, I've been doing the high school graduation, now college graduation shtick, and I'm talking to students, and this morning they're like, what are you doing today? Like, what's your agenda? I'm like, I'm going to LEGOLAND. They're all like, they either want to work there, the graduates, or have worked here, or just love coming here. And my kids love it. It's a wonderful place. I come here for breakfast that you host sometimes for the chamber. And literally when I came up here, I can't stop but do a selfie in front of the entranceway of LEGOLAND because it's just so exciting and transformational. But let's just talk about you real quick. Like, who is Stephanie Johnson?
Yep.
Like, what's your background? Where'd you go to school? I know you live in Campbell Hall area. But who are you and how did you get here to LEGOLAND?
Sure. So I am nearly a lifelong resident of Orange County, grew up in Washingtonville, went to school at Syracuse University, was fortunate enough to meet my husband there.
Awesome.
After college, kind of bounced around for a few years. We were in Miami when he got his PhD. We came back to New York and Long Island. But then ultimately, when we decided to settle with a family, we thought Orange County was where we'd want to be. And so it was close enough that I could still commute to the city sometimes. My family was here, but we wanted our children to grow up in a place just like this. My background is actually real estate development and retail. So started my career at Liz Claiborne. Most people probably don't know the name of that business anymore, but it was an incredible company to work for. I was the assistant to director of stores, just kind of learned a lot along the way, really through osmosis, listening to all the leaders around me. I went to different retailers, spent about 5 years at Ralph Lauren. I was their senior director of retail development across North America. And so had an incredible career there. But then after my first son, realized I was never home.
Okay.
And it was really difficult for me to make, any type of school activities, et cetera. And I decided I wanted to work closer to where I lived.
Okay.
So I went over to Simon Property Group. I was at Woodbury Common. Woodbury Common was one of my properties. I was their VP of marketing.
And you pronounce that properly because I always mispronounce it as Commons.
Yes, it's Woodbury Common.
Corporate gets nuclear when
do.
people call it with the S. But I've lived here my whole life, and I'm never accurate on it. But so you worked there.
Yep. So I worked there for about 4 years, and then ultimately Merlin found me. They pursued me for quite some time. They were looking for someone to run the resort that was local, who had an understanding of tourism and footfall initiatives in the market. And as I explored the company, I knew that I wanted to be a part of it, right? I watched it come to life from afar for a little bit, but Merlin really believes in being a community partner, giving back to the area that they do business in. And I thought I'll never get the chance to open a theme park 6 miles from my home ever again, and I wanted to do it.
And it's not a shtick what you're talking about. Like,
nope.
You're not saying that because you work here now. One of the things, like when we were talking earlier about John Usher and some of the other great people that we've met, have been here. Like one of them started as like a ride operator.
Yep.
And then worked their way up to corporate, which I think is incredible street credit.
Yeah, I mean,
for a company.
We have a really cool development team. Most people, and even a handful of directors in my senior leadership team, started in ride operations, in ticket booths, in retail stores, and just took on more responsibility. We're open and willing to be mobile because we are part of Merlin Entertainments, as I said. So we have 130 attractions across the globe. So people who are willing to move to different locations, take on new responsibilities, have a lot of career trajectory trajectory with us.
And by the way, like you mentioned different locations, the synergy that you have with other locations, like Manhattan's an hour away from us,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And my kids are season pass holders, and they go to Madame Tussauds and all the other places that you don't really normally think of. You think just if you're just Legoland, New York, Orange County,
Yep.
but you have so many different things that are going on and other awesome attractions. And we mentioned John Usher. You also have Phil Royal, who's
Yep.
a critical part of this, and Woodbury Common. Like,
Yes.
I remember when I first met John Usher, who was one of the first people from Legoland we met and discussed. We had lunch at Woodbury Common.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been Dave Mastrada have been always a host. Like, we bring people now when we show them Orange County, we show them 2 locations guaranteed, Legoland and Woodbury Common, and you are really accommodating. So
Absolutely.
let's just talk about this whole plan. This is a huge undertaking.
Yep.
You get it approved, you get ready to open. It's during COVID. Now we're a couple years in. You got your sea legs, as they so to say, and you have to employ a lot of people. You have to keep this running here. You also run Merlin's Magic Wand. We're going to get into that because
Yep.
you do a lot of cool charity. The only conversations I really have with you, besides joking around, is really helping people.
Yep.
People at their worst time. Make-A-Wish, things like that. But how do you run an operation like this behind us here?
Well, the secret is a really good team,
Okay.
right? And a really good support system around you. But I like to say we're 150 acres of pure play, right?
Yeah.
So there's rides, there are larger than life brick build attractions, there's all of these amazing water playgrounds, water activities, you name it, you can have a full day experience here,
Yeah.
and then you could have an overnight experience through our resort. But you only do this with the success of your team,
Yeah.
right? I've got an incredible senior leadership team with years of experience behind me, and then really important values for our organization, right? We believe in being good community partners, and of course all of our business partners, Woodbury Common, the Chamber of Commerce, anybody that we work with is always willing to help and support within the county, which is just critical to all of our collective success. And I think having that approach in doing business and making sure that we succeed as an entire county, as an entire business community is critical. But yeah, I mean, I think it is certainly a labor of love, day in
Yeah.
and day out. There isn't one day that is the same, but that's what makes it really exciting.
So another question to you is, you have a lot of great attractions here.
Yep.
Like, I love Ninjago. My kids love
Yep.
Ninjago. You have Miniland. You have a little bit of everything. You have down below, you have some of the water-themed
Yep.
parks. You could also get your driver's license as a young child here. What's your favorite ride here?
Oh, so I think my favorite ride is the Lego Factory Adventure, and
Okay,
that was
I do like that.
Yep,
That is cool.
That was the first of its kind, right? And it's an indoor dark ride where children and families get to be transformed into a minifigure. So you see yourself as part of Professor Brick's science experiment as a minifigure, and you ultimately wind up in a child's bedroom playing at the end of the day. So it kind of brings to life the Lego story and everything that there is in brick build and Lego experiences.
So we're here early in the week, and you're going to get ready because your hours are later on, and you open on the weekends, and the summer's we're just on the cusp of summer starting. This place is buzzing. You got a lot of people running around here. You got some construction going on.
Yep.
You have plans in the future. So what's going on now
Yep.
as you get ready for this summer, and where do you see yourself in a couple of years from now?
Yep. So from Memorial Day weekend on, we're now a 7-day operation, right? So it's high summer play rolls at Legoland New York from here on out. And so we expect to be welcoming lots of guests day in and day out. So we're preparing for that.
Okay.
But as you know, significant investment in this park, the largest investment actually Merlin ever made in a theme park attraction.
Wow.
For the initial build. But since then, we've invested tens of millions of dollars each season to continue to bring new product to life for our guests. This year, we are launching our minifigure Skyflyer.
Oh, cool.
So essentially think of it as a ski gondola, and it is the ultimate minifigure party in the sky. So each of your gondolas are hosted by different minifigures.
Oh, cool.
So you'll learn to sea shanty and talk pirates. You'll have a dinner party and get to, talk with the watermelon and
cool.
the hot dog man. So lots of really fun activities. Essentially, we think about continuing investing in our park based on what our guests tell us, right? So our guests said, hey, we need easier ways to navigate your park. We want to experience all 7 lands in one day. How do you do that? How can you help us do that? And so that's why we're putting in the gondola for this summer.
So is that a people mover or no?
Yes, it is a people mover.
Okay.
Yep, that's
All right.
exactly what it is.
I haven't heard it reference as a gondola, but that's great. That
It
sounds
is.
fun.
Yep, yep.
And I like the themes on it. So, and now you also have stuff. Do you have more opening up with water, or was that last year? Am I missing these things? Like,
So essentially, because it's now the kickoff to summer, all of our water activities will open from Memorial Day weekend on.
That's great.
So you've got our splash battle ride, which is essentially the boats with the pirate ships and the water guns, and it's all about getting mom and dad wet and mom and dad getting the kids wet.
And the people in the side can shoot at the pirate ships too. Yeah, it's awesome.
Super fun. You walk down there when you're having a bad day, you hear lots of giggles and see lots of smiles, and it just turns it around. We also have the water playground, which is essentially where you see that big gallon bucket that dumps water on everybody. We do a reserved time slot for that where people get to experience it, cool off on a hot day. And then, of course, in the hotel, our pool will open for Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day.
That's great.
Yeah.
I get, as county executive, I get like all sorts of requests for different things, for different help, or people ask me on a regular basis how Legoland's doing. I say you guys are doing great, and the reason why I say that is you need to make plans before you come here. You can't just drive on the side of the road for the most part.
Yep.
You want to make plans ahead of time because you sold out on a couple times, right? Or,
oh yeah.
That's a great problem to have.
Incredible problem to have, and honestly, the hotel proposition has worked extremely well, right? So we are nearly at 100% occupancy all peak season, and it's why we have Legoland Vacation Partner hotels in and around the county that also service our guests. About 75%, we'll call it, of our guests come from the New York City DMA, which means, the 5 boroughs of New York City, Long Island, Northern Jersey, Western Connecticut, the surrounding counties, and then we pull from Boston, Philly, and then a little bit from Canada and Washington, D.C. So there's definitely an immediate, market that comes up for a day trip, but we also like to service the overnight night guests as well.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's been so transformational. I mean, the hotels in the area, the restaurants in the area. I know tons of restaurant owners that say they're up 30%. I know people that I serve with from the military from around the country that say, hey, I've been to your Legoland.
That's
or I've
amazing.
been through here, or I'm coming through here. And they stay at Limoncello and have dinner there and stay at the hotel there, which I think is such great cross-pollination that you help each other.
Of course.
And I'm telling you, I know they're going to the Commons, Woodbury Commons, and shopping, and they're going to West Point, and they're making it a vacation, which I think it's just so exciting, right?
Yeah, and we actively seek out partners, right? So the castle we've partnered with historically, other attractions in the area. We want our guests to stay with us for a day, maybe 2, but then continue to do and explore things in the county. So the more of those things that we can do, we're all for them.
It's really, truly is really such a rewarding experience to be part of the whole beginning of this not being here.
Yeah.
And being developed into what is now, I think, a really beautiful site. And one of the things I mention on a regular basis is the amount of people that work here from other areas.
Yep.
And then you've also had some programs where you've married with SUNY Orange at some times to help people with their educational opportunities. Just great things across the board.
Yeah. I mean, we have about 300 full-time year-round people. We will add an additional anywhere from 600 to 800 people, full-time seasonal, throughout, depending on the year, right?
Yeah.
How many people we need and what their availability is. But it's important to us to employ the local community as well, right? So about 85% of our staff is from Orange County, which is pretty cool.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Another one of, I love using these little, third-party validators in my speeches.
Yeah, there you go. But we wanted to make sure that we could help develop the workforce, right?
Yeah.
So there's certain programs, we've partnered with NFA, for example, and we provide transportation for high school students who wouldn't otherwise be able to get to Goshen, New York, to then come work with us. We partner with SUNY Orange, so any student that has 3 full days of availability to work with us will get reimbursed for up to 6 college credits each semester that they're with us and a student there.
That's great.
Yeah. We've done things with Orange Ulster Bosse's right next door. We help with curriculum development, do internships for their EMT programs. We work with Monroe Woodbury and do additional internships for people with varying abilities. So it's really important for us to have an inclusive workforce community and to make sure that everyone's engaged and has opportunities to grow.
So one of the great things, by the way, those are incredible. I mean, I was new to Newburgh one, and Monroe Woodbury is a great another connection in there, and SUNY Orange. One of the great things that you and I get to work on from time to time is helping out people in like the worst time in their lives.
Of course.
I'm talking Make-A-Wish. We've had a number of families that made a request to the office, and you've set it up where maybe the parent is got terminally ill, or the child is terminally ill, and you guys have really accommodated them. Some of them are physically impaired or not in good shape, and you've made the experience just extraordinary for a family that's going through a tough time. Yep. Is that like one of your most rewarding experiences when you're here?
Of course it is. I mean, when you think about it, at the end of the day, our job is to, create memories and build joy for families. We have a Merlin's Magic Wand charity, right? So that is the foundation arm of Merlin, where we bring the magic of our attractions to children facing adversity. And it may mean that we accommodate them here, we bring the magic of our park to them, or we bring to life our experiences somewhere else, like Merlin's Magic Space at Newburgh Armory, right?
It's so wonderful and like giving back, because one of the things we always get criticized is these big companies are coming in and you're not going to see them giving back to the local community. And the one that you do in Newburgh at the Armory is incredible.
Yep. It's the first ever STEM-based classroom that Merlin's Magic Wand has done. And essentially what we did was we completely renovated a room, created all of the product available for students to come in to build with, and we created curriculum. So every Saturday there's a new build and a new STEM experience that their instructors can utilize.
And this is open to the public.
Yep.
And there's kids from all spectrums, some with a good family situation at home, some with not, all working together, getting opportunities in STEM. I've seen them design and build robotics. It's truly amazing. And before you did that one, you did one at our county homeless shelter, which is run by Honor in the city of Middletown. Another beautiful opportunity for families that are really struggling in the hardest times of their life.
Yeah, and by the way, we are the only county in all of the United States that has 2 Merlin's Magic Spaces.
That's great.
It's really cool.
So, we're going to be walking through and seeing some of the cool stuff that you have now. I am so, when I tell people, other counties, how lucky we are, how lucky I am as a county executive to have you here, because of the revenue you generate, the sales tax, the visitation, helping the overall market. People can do all sorts of things. We talked about that, going to West Point, making a couple day trips together as they visit here. I think it's just such a beautiful addition to our what we have to offer right now in this portfolio of what Orange County is. What's the future here? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, so I think
that you can talk about.
Yeah. Okay, so as with every theme park,
I know you corporate guys are like, you got to classify until it gets done.
Yes, very true. We'll always continue to invest in the park footprint, right?
Yep.
So that is a continued strategy across all of our LEGOLAND parks, and I think every single year leading through until 2028, we have something on the horizon that we'd like to continue to put in the park. As we look towards the future, I think, and as you look at best practices, LEGOLAND Florida, LEGOLAND California, there's always additional hotel accommodations, second gate opportunities, and so none of that is off the table for us. We're looking forward to continuing to grow in this market.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we covered a little bit of everything, what you give back. We covered about who comes and works here. We've covered who comes to visit here. What's been the biggest help for you? Like when you have stressful, I don't know, is it hiring people? What's the biggest help for LEGOLAND? Like it was, I don't know. Is it I Love New York? Is it tourism? Or is it all together?
I think it's a combination, a little bit of everything. I mean, just with any type of business you run, you have cyclical challenges and things that go really well and things that are challenging. Workforce development was obviously difficult, and recruitment was very difficult coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
We were willing to be an above minimum wage employer, and we still are. We like to lead the market for our frontline wage staff, but we came together as a community, right, with folks from Empire State Development and the county to figure out how we can, get people back back to work and getting
Right.
them working with Legoland. We talk to the tourism office at least once a month, right, to continue to partner on how do we drive and let people know where we are, right? Because no matter what, you're always educating a consumer on how to get here, what the product proposition is, and what you can do for a long weekend. So we've got a lot of support from the tourism office to do that, as well as with I Love New York, and then the business community around us. So I will say we've had a lot. I always say this, right? This is here because of the collective efforts of everybody in the business community and the supporters in Orange County when we were under development.
I was talking the other day about how this got approved and how many different people came to these meetings and got involved, and it was great. When we talked earlier about the Phil Royals, we talked about the Stephanie Johnsons and the John Ushers. These are the people that now have been elevated to senior positions within the Merlin enterprise and the Lego enterprise. Do you see, like, now as being a principal, you've been doing this for a couple of years, do you see the future Stephanies and Phil Royals coming through the ranks here? Like, I'm telling you, you could keep doing your working hard here, or maybe work on your educational stuff at the same time because you're going places within the enterprise.
Of course. I mean, I think any leader should want to develop a really good succession plan and help identify who your next key leaders are. What's great about us is we have the power of global learning and development. So we have an incredible chief people officer who's building career development, paths and curriculums for anybody that comes through these doors. You'll hear later from the F&B team, I think 67% of their management was internal promotions. We've had a 3% turnover rate, which is essentially unheard of in salaried positions, and we continue to move people up through the ranks. So it's really fun to see. I mean, for me, that's why I come to work every day, for my team and for my people, and to watch them grow and take on different projects and get highlighted throughout amongst their peers and in the business is really fun.
So I absolutely love being county executive. I think it's a great job. It's exciting. Every day is different. People are watching here and be like, these two have got it made. Every day you're having a bad day. Do you fire up the dragon ride? I need to blow up some steam. Is it like, I know it's not that, because you have the ultimate, you're the top of this pyramid. You need to keep this operation going. You need to make sure if the weather's bad or if there's some type of traffic jam, you got to deal with this stuff. But is it a lot of fun?
Oh, it's so much fun.
So everybody who's watching this is saying,
yes. I will say there's definitely days that are very stressful, because we deal with everything from serious health and safety protocols to ensuring that our ride maintenance team and facilities group has got everything documented, to building guest obsession plans, to retail stock levels, inclement weather, you name it, industry trends. It's a different challenge every day. But I remind everybody that, we still get to run a theme park, and our ultimate goal is just to make people happy and for them to bond as a family. So when you think about that as a purpose in getting up every day, it keeps us motivated.
Does the Johnson family come here?
The Johnson family comes here quite a bit.
It does, okay.
Yes, my oldest son can't wait till he can work here, right?
Yeah.
He's 11, so he's got a few more years to go. But they're big Lego enthusiasts, and they're here all season long.
For a county resident, it's so convenient. I'm less than 10 minutes away from here, and talking to teachers and educators. I don't think you guys have ever said no. We don't ask for freebies for ourselves, but if a school or a Make-A-Wish or somebody, and I don't want to try to open the floodgates, or like you mentioned earlier before, people that are maybe less fortunate, maybe people that are on the spectrum that don't get the opportunities that maybe other mainstream kids are getting, you've really helped out.
Absolutely.
So I really appreciate it. This has been quite enjoyable, and obviously, like I said, you're one of my favorite people. I think you're doing a great job here. The whole team you have here is phenomenal. And now we're going to check out a couple of the new things you have here. I kind of know my way around, but I haven't been here this season yet, so I'm sure every time I always see new things.
Very good. We figured we'd give you a little bit of taste of Legoland.
Wow.
Because we have an incredible F&B partnership with the Levy team. And this is Justin, who's our vice president.
How are you? Good.
And then Chef Damien, executive chef.
Damien, nice to meet you. Steve, pleasure. This is amazing. Oh my goodness. This is not what you expect at any type of park like this.
No, it's pretty cool.
Incredible.
And these guys are all about making sure that our guests are well fed, but that we also have some really innovative things that bring to life all of the fun things in the park.
We want to kind of walk you through sort of our summer rollout while highlighting some of the fan park favorites. The first thing we have here is our granny apple fries. It is a staple across every single LEGOLAND that you'll go to. We hand batter them in a vanilla pancake batter, deep fry them, and we serve them with whipped cream and a caramel sauce. So the ultimate sweet treat on a day here at LEGOLAND.
Wonderful.
Moving on, one of the things that we wanted to do this year was really highlight the bright, bold, vibrant colors of the Lego bricks themselves. So these are our fun dogs. These are going to be at Showtime snacks.
That's great.
So these are corn dogs dipped in funnel cake batter.
Oh, that's
and deep
awesome.
fried.
They're
So
incredible.
perfect mix of sweet and savory as you're enjoying the show over at the amphitheater over there. Moving on, one of the best things we like to do in the summer is smoke and do barbecue, which we do very well here. We have a Southern Pride smoker in the back, real wood, and this is our 24-hour smoked brisket.
Wow.
So we smoke it overnight into the next day. We pull that out and then we douse it with our Coca-Cola barbecue sauce that we make in-house. And this year we're going to be slicing it up and serving it on sandwiches with pickles and coleslaw.
Amazing. And the presentation is absolutely impeccable. This
Appreciate
is
that.
great. I mean, Damien, this is beautiful.
Another one of our highlights that we use the smoker for is the smoked turkey leg.
Wow.
We serve these down at the castle, so you can get these nice big bad boys. We smoke them for 4 hours. Again, doused in Coca-Cola barbecue sauce, and they're incredible.
Wow.
And then a couple other things we're introducing for the summer as well is the turkey teriyaki burger. So grilled pineapple, fresh garlic mayonnaise, just a great addition to the burger
Wow.
program that we have out there.
It looks beautiful, guys. And again, as a parent, you don't think to see this quality of food at a park. And it's just really incredible. And so thankful to be here and so thankful to have the three of you show us around. And the public get to see it. It's going to be awesome.
We appreciate it. Yeah, we want to make LEGOLAND the place to work, play, and eat.
So you even made a miniature of Goshen.
I did. We did. Our master model builders always want to do some type of nod to the town that we are hosted in. And so we have a mini land of Goshen. And I think there's even a Steve Neuhaus in there.
Awesome. You know you made it when you became a Lego.
There you go.
That's great. So thank you, Stephanie.
Thanks for being here.
And thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it.